Hello, you're listening to our Doctor Who The Angels Take Manhattan review. If anyone hasn't seen it, there's a lot of spoilers, so don't bother listening if you haven't seen the episode, obviously. But with me today is Chris.
Hello.
And for the first time doing a Doctor Who review is Alid.
Hello.
How are you?
Alright.
So for the viewer, explain what type of Doctor Who fan are you?
I'm not really a fan. If it's on, I'll watch it. My sister's the fan. She watches it religiously, so I watch it if it's on. I watched a few of the old episodes, and I do like them. The ones I have seen, I do like, but I haven't watched many.
But you're very much a new Doctor Who fan,
yeah.
so you're coming at it from very
Yeah.
ignorant, no defence eyes sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very
Ignorance and lack of knowledge.
You don't know. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's like so, like
to learn.
yeah.
Alright, so you're the new person. What did you think of the Angels Take Manhattan episode?
As with the case with many Stephen Moffat episodes, I had sort of higher hopes because Stephen Moffat has written some of the better ones of the first of the new series since it came back. And I was thinking, well, maybe he could revamp it. He could do like a nice end of the stuff because you knew it was going to end. I thought that Stephen Moffat could have done a better job. Because we knew it was going to end. We knew Rory and Amy were going to go somewhere. Not necessarily die, but he was going to sort of kill them off, get rid of them, so he can start clean with General Reese Coleman. So I thought, he could have done better. He could have done more. It was just so predictable that the angels are going to zap him back in time, and they were going to live happily ever after.
What about you, Chris? Over sort of thoughts of it.
Well, yeah, I agree. What gets me is, like you're saying, this is his big send-off. And when I've read interviews and stuff, he said things like how he had to rewrite it and stuff like that. He came up with a different ending, and I watch it and I think, really, you spent time on that, more than a couple of hours, because it really doesn't feel like a substantial story. So, seriously, when they got zapped to the graveyard at the end, I was like, well, surely it's got to end soon. And then I looked at the time, I was like, oh my god, 40 odd minutes has gone past. It felt like it was shot by. Nothing really stayed in my memory. The whole thing, it was like one little thing dragged out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like big thing. And for the send-off, I really was expecting better. Not just because it was Stephen Moffat, which, I was expecting better because of him as well.
It was billed as the end of the sort of series,
the
big finale,
era
but
sort of thing.
It was just another episode, wasn't it?
It felt that way, but in a way I'm kind of glad that it wasn't some big teary-eyed emotional send-off. Yeah,
they said it was that. If you read reviews,
tearjerkers around. And from what I've read of comments, everyone cried. 1 in 20 people said, well, it's emotional sort of thing, but I didn't cry. So many people are saying that they cried their eyes out. I've never cried at a TV programme, but I cried my eyes out. Oh, it was so sad. I was crying for hours. And I'm like, well, whatever.
We'll start at the beginning. You don't know, but you two know that I'm a big fan of noir films, and it started off as a private investigator in New York during the 30s, 40s. I thought, this is good. I like the sort of vibe of it. And then it sort of went on to something else. But they could have done more with that. They could have done more with the main...
what was the point of that? You take all of that beginning bit, which lasted a fair while, to be fair, and remove it, what do you lose?
You lose the idea of...
Rory getting old by himself.
Yeah. But he's not in that.
No, but the investigator got old, so you knew what's going to happen.
They could have done that, explained it when the doctor was there, when it happened to Rory. You didn't need that. It really did feel pointless. And for something that felt like, this is going to be fairly integral, I thought that it was like Rory's going to team up with him when he goes back in time. Because I'd read spoilers and everything like that. I knew that Rory was going to go back in time, sort of thing. And I thought that it was going to be like that. But no, clearly not. It was just... I
thought, obviously it's essential in some ways, but it looked good.
It was just to show someone getting screwed over by the angels in that building, which, yes, that was its reason, so it had a reason, but it wasn't like...
And you set up the character of the big fat businessman.
But you could have set that up just briefly when you next saw it. It's not like he was an integral character. Well, I mean, what? He just was investigating them?
He brought them all together. He brought River Song in.
Yeah.
I suppose he needed a reason to bring him in, but
They
You
could have been
just
another
said,
one.
yeah.
Exactly. There so could have been better ways around it. Sort of.
Well, the big fat guy, I liked him because he's sort of based on the big fat guy in Maltese Falcon, but even now it's just it is pointless. It was pointless. So what did you think of the when River Song turned up with the the hand was caught in the angel?
Well, the thing I liked about this episode is every other time River's been in it, it's been very much about River. It's very like she's a very main character. This she took much more of a backseat, so I wasn't as annoyed by her character. She was very, I wasn't bothered by it.
Yeah.
She had a role in it, and it wasn't like me and the doctor, which is always what it feels like. It's like, okay, I get it. You might be his wife one day, sort of thing. Now we know you are, kind of, and now it's like, right, I don't care about your story anymore. You're not a mystery anymore. So step back. So I like that she was in it, but not as in it as she usually is.
What I found as well, I can't remember any other time that she referred to the doctor as husband.
No, it's only been since.
Why has she only
married.
just started calling him husband?
Don't know. Because we, the viewers, know they are, but it's like, how does she know that in his timeline they're married? She knows that she's no longer spoiling. I know it's stupid. It's like that's not the biggest problem. There are always little holes like that sort of thing. But
what did you think of the Doctor in this? Maybe the whole series, maybe especially this episode. It was like, he rips out the last page. I don't like endings.
Yeah, that felt very pointless. It was only very childish, but clearly they only put it in so that it could have a big the page which he left in Central Park and was still there. So ignore that. But yeah, it was only so they could have that. But yeah, I agree. It was very childish. It was like, what? That's just a stupid thing to do. What kind of person does that?
Well, yeah, he's only the Doctor, but he doesn't like endings. He doesn't want Amy to go.
See, that's clever because it is an ending. It just felt like that. It was like they're trying to be smart. It's like he kept going, I don't like endings, when we, the viewer, know that it's Amy and Rory's ending.
Yeah.
Like, that's not clever, hinting at that.
But we're not slagging it off. It was
no,
a decent episode,
yeah. It was better than last week's. It was better than Dinosaurs. I don't really know where it completely ranks up against like the Mercy one or the Daleks. Top 3 at least.
Yeah.
In this half of the whole series.
Well, in this half, I can't do the whole series.
Well, they're going to see Rory.
Well, yeah. The whole travelling back to the 1932, I think it was 1932, whatever. He can't do it because it's all over the place, sort of thing. I mean, that was like a quick excuse to stop him from landing there. It was just pointless. I didn't really like that. They do say that pretty much every statue in New York has become an angel.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, implies that
they're killing a lot of people.
Well, no, but the angels are other creatures. They're not statues. They just inhabit statues.
Yeah.
That's how it implied. That's what I got.
What do they do with the original statues?
What are they? What are the angels? Are they just called that because they inhabit angel statues, or is that their normal look and they also control other statues? It's all these questions. I know it's not like plot holes. It's just like, well, I want to know. It's raising the question.
Yeah.
It's like, why are there suddenly little baby ones that crawl about the place going? It's like they've watched creepy movies and just taken that, and it's like, we've all seen stuff like it's creepy, but it's been done. That's what I'm saying. It's like yes, like you don't know where it's coming from. You hear feet scattering and you hear a little baby laughing. It's creepy. We all know it's creepy because it's been done so many times before. It's not original.
Even the matchbox holding the matchstick, lighting it,
and blowing it
out.
That's been done before, sort of thing.
But the viewers might think that we're giving it a battering.
No, yeah.
It was a good episode.
It was one of the better episodes, definitely.
We just hold Doctor Who so highly that we're so critical of it.
Yeah, and I was expecting something a bit more, not surprising. I mean, I knew what was going to happen. I just thought they'd go about it a little bit more better, sort of thing.
When Rory, what do you think of the bit when they saw old Rory, die in Amy's arms?
Well, it wasn't like I didn't cry.
It was a moving bit.
Well,
they tried to make it a movie.
Yeah. Just because I wasn't moved, whatever. But I see that it's emotional. I get the point of it. It's old Rory and everything. It's emotional.
Because when the Doctor said, "Oh, you've just seen yourself die," then he explains that they send you back and you stay in his room for 40 years. I immediately thought to myself, well, kill me then. I
know. That's exactly the immediate thing.
That.
I was thinking, well, if he kills himself now,
yeah,
that's kind of what I liked about when they did commit suicide.
Yeah.
Because so many times when I watched Doctor Who, I'd go, well, this is what I'd write. I'd do what I would have done in the story, and that was one of them. It's like, well, if he kills himself, sorted. And they actually did that, so I'm like, okay, that's surprising.
That's a good thing. That was a good thing of that bit, because Doctor Who's, you wouldn't have thought that Doctor Who would have written that. Well, a suicide.
A
suicide.
Yeah.
But that was a good
suicide
bit.
pact. It was both of them. Yeah.
What do you think of the Angel as Statue of Liberty?
I remember the rumours about it. The second I heard the rumours, I thought that sounds exactly like something they do, and it pissed me off because it's you say it and you go, oh, interesting, and you think, oh, that sounds a bit cool, sort of thing, like a big angel sort of thing. But then you just think, well, no, it'd never work. It's a Statue of Liberty. No, there's always someone looking at it, kind of thing. How does it move? No one sees it. No one, how's it get back? It's stupid. I would have written that out. I would not have put that in there.
Yeah, well, I thought... go on, Ed.
I was just going to say, the statue, why wasn't it on Staten Island?
I don't know. Did it swim over?
I don't know.
Did it fly?
It was just standing next to the building that they were in.
Always in that pose. It was like...
Well, they don't know how angels move. They just move really quick.
Well, they don't, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Somebody would have seen, the Statue of Liberty.
Someone is always looking at it, for God's sake. Guards patrol it, don't they? Yeah. There's always people on that island.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if it's in the corner of your eye,
even
it's the Statue of Bleeding Liberty. In the Statue of New York in the 1930s, pretty busy place, I'd imagine.
Immigration.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, because you told me like months before that this could happen, so I thought, oh god. But I thought it wasn't as integral to the story.
No, God, completely not needed. There were so many points like that where it was like, well, hang on, we'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
By putting it in, you raised more questions.
But it's just like a sort of marketing sort of...
It's the Statue of Liberty sort of thing. I mean, it didn't even need to be set in New York.
No.
I mean, I'm not having a go at that. I mean, it's...
They're just trying to make it big in America.
Yeah, exactly. It feels a little bit self-indulgent. Let's go film overseas sort of thing. I'm not having a go at it,
Well, I would do that, right?
Yeah, exactly. It does make it more interesting than constantly having it set in either Wales or London. It does mix it up a bit. I'm not having a go at that. I just would have made a story properly, a reason for it set in Manhattan. Well, I mean, the main point was like when they actually at the graveyard and got Zack back in time. I was actually glad that Rory just went like that sort of thing. You didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him sort of thing. One second he was there, one second he was not. Not because I don't like the character kind of thing. I just think it was more shocking. Yeah, I didn't want an emotional big saying goodbye. I mean, even with Amy, she got a goodbye, but I'm glad it wasn't as emotional as I really put my expectations to be. I was like, I'm prepared for like some really annoying.
You thought it was going to be like the David Tennant exit.
Yeah, I just really didn't want
orchestra music. Yeah.
So
yeah, that was good because I like the idea of the end where they committed suicide and then it went, oh no, everything was happy, and then bam. Yeah. Well, it was
very quick.
It went to shit.
What was he doing with it? Like, he used a regeneration to heal her hand.
Yeah, that got on my tits. Why did he do that?
All the amount of times that people have been in danger.
Exactly.
He never thought to use
exactly. So how you can do that, can he? Or is it just because she's so special? He has to. It's a broken wrist. If she was dying, use it. Broken wrist. I'm sure she can live with it. It will heal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he broke it. I don't know, because she felt like it. Yeah, but he made her broke it. He made her feel bad.
No,
I don't understand that.
He's caused a lot of other injuries.
Yeah, but I don't understand what happened. He
just exactly, that's the point. Because then exactly, this is one of those things again where you write it and you go, oh, that's great, but then you think, well, can he still do it? Will he ever do it again? Why did he do it for her? What injuries can he heal with it? Can he bring people back from the dead? It just raises questions. And if I wrote it and then started asking those sort of questions, I'd go, get rid of it. Don't put it in. Not necessary. I mean, what? It shows he cares. That's
and what happens to him?
He loses regeneration.
I imagine he loses some of his life because it's kind of like when he powered that.
Yeah.
Well, not a regeneration.
Yeah,
he doesn't say that.
Do you remember
he loses some of his regeneration power.
No,
energy.
I swear she said that you used the regeneration.
No, it just says she reduced the regeneration. It's like when the Cybermen ones in the parallel universe, he breathes into that thing and he goes, I just lost 10 years of my life. I'm imagining it's like that. He's got energy inside him which is used for regeneration, which he's using up.
What's the point is?
It's a stupid point sort of thing. It's like it just raises questions that really doesn't, because they're never going to get answered. It's never going to crop up again.
No.
I put money on it. So it's just stupid to put it in there. But why can't the Doctor go back and see them anymore?
Because he said that you can't even go back to New York.
Right.
It's just a
Ever?
tame Doctor Who
Or
excuse.
New York in that year, in that time period.
Probably that. Well, no. If they want to go back, if they want to write a story in New York again, then they'll just say, "Oh, just that time period."
Right. Then why doesn't he go to London, fly over? Why doesn't he go to Washington, California, and go over?
Drive there.
There are so many ways around it. It's the most ridiculous way of getting rid of them. Because it's like, well, it's not. Go and have a... He clearly can go back in time and see them. It's not a whole, like, he's interfering with history. Because surely the second Rory got zapped back in time at first, he aged out and everything, and they went back and interfered with it.
He's covered his back, because if they want... If for the big 50th, Amy...
They can
Rory
come
to
back.
Exactly. They can spin anything.
But that's just it. But clearly, River Song does see him again to give him the book.
Yeah.
So
she has that thing. I don't know. It's the
So the
TARDIS,
Doctor
isn't it?
can't get one? The Doctor can't build one? It's really stupid. You have to really go and shut your brain off.
Well,
The second you
maybe he
start
doesn't want to
questioning
see
it.
them, because he said, all right, that's over now. I don't want to interfere in their lives. I want to get out.
Okay, maybe that's true. It's like he realises he needs to let them go, sort of thing. But really, in the 1930s, it's not very fair on them. It's not very fair on Rory's dad either.
True. Well, maybe they're going to crop up later in this.
Something
in the
tells
next
me
series.
Rory's dad is not going to get an explanation.
And that's a good point. So what, does Rory go and fight in the war now? Does he just...
Don't know, exactly, that's the thing. It's like, what's going on?
Could've
Do they
gone
ever
off
invent
at that
anything?
time.
Do they become rich because they have knowledge of the future? I mean, they're silly little questions, but, you know, things
they
like
know
Rory's
that-
dad getting an explanation, I feel sorry for him. It was only in the last episode he said, look after them. And now he's never going to see him again.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Well, maybe that's going to be addressed in the latest in this new series with the new assistant.
Do you really think so?
Well, I hope so, because
It's not gonna-
Rory's dad deserves.
I'll
an
be
explanation.
very surprised. Yeah, but not just Rory's dad. It's established that Amy had family at
Yeah.
a wedding. They get an explanation. What's going to happen to their house? It's just going to sit there.
What about,
you know, there's so many things. It's like, well, hang on.
What about Rory's job? What about Amy's?
Everything. All their friends that they were
Yeah.
showing that they had in the... Yeah, they're all gonna be like, well, I've never seen them again.
They've still got each other.
And also, do they live out their... Well, they died at like 82, 85 kind of thing, around that. And they're what? They're supposed to be in their... They're about 30 or something now. They've aged a certain amount. So that's what, 50 years. Let's call it 50 years. Did they get zapped back to that room in the building?
No, they didn't.
Why not?
Well, no, you don't know.
Exactly, we don't know.
Amy outlives Rory on the
By
Great
5
Show.
years or so, yeah.
So he died alone. Where the fuck was she?
Well, I don't know, that's the point. Did that angel, because they make it say that was a survivor,
Yeah.
where did he zap them to?
Well, you don't know.
Clearly New
She
York,
said
because they're
it.
buried there.
She said it. She said they don't know.
Yeah, but they're somewhere in New York, because they're buried
Somewhere in
there.
New York, yeah.
The Doctor can't go back for them, sort of thing. So it's logical, based on the rest of the story, that it's that building.
Or
And if
was
it
it-
is, that's a shit 50 years. If they can't... I mean, they're together, but they're in that building for 50 years.
Well, no, because she had to write the book and get it published. So
True.
they're obviously not in that building. Or
Can
was
they
it?
travel? Can they travel to London?
Or was it brought back to that graveyard?
Don't know. That's the thing. It's just so many... Exactly. Did they get zapped underground in a coffin? You know, it's so many things. It's like, why?
No,
Why were they
because-
buried there? Why? Who buried them there? The angels clearly don't.
No, because she had.
Dig
They
a hole
obviously
and
got
bury them.
family and stuff.
Do they?
Well, they can't have
Well, they
kids,
have
but they have
British
friends and.
Do
Friends.
they?
Yeah, they
That's what
obviously
I'm
make
saying.
friends
Well,
in the.
You assume
They
so.
live normal lives, but in New York in the 30s.
I'd
40s,
assume
50s.
they do. That's if they're not stuck in that building. But
Yeah, but
as
they're
we've
not.
seen, the angels zap them to that
Yeah,
building.
but also as we've seen that they get a book published, so they're not in that building.
These are conflicting. That's what I'm saying. It's like some things suggest this, some things suggest it's not
Well, I
thought
think-
through.
I think
That's
what
what
it was
I really
was,
don't like.
Amy said, "What has Rory been zapped back to the building?" The doctor says he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
And then she says, "Am I going to be zapped back in the same place as him?" And he said he doesn't know. So it was like a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And
it
obviously they got
well
lucky.
worked,
Yeah. That was the end of Amy and Rory's time as the assistants. What have you made of Amy? What do you think of her overall as an assistant?
Well,
She's fit.
She's fit. Good looking. I would
Fittest
say
so
that.
far.
Fit so far, yeah.
Rory, Rory never grew.
To be
on me.
honest, I didn't like Rory at the beginning,
He's definitely
but
better.
he's grown on me.
but I
I've
still
liked
don't
him.
particularly like him.
I've liked him in this.
I
series.
really didn't like him at first.
I just thought he was like a generic sort of bumbling
Amy,
boyfriend, but then he's become more, and I prefer him now.
The actor can do. He has quite good comedy timing,
Yeah,
so he can. There is that aspect.
Well, he didn't at first.
he did comedy better than Mickey, Noel
Oh,
Clark.
God.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was awful.
But what about Amy?
I mean, she was alright at the beginning, sort of thing. She's definitely sort of grown. She is one of the more interesting companions. She's had a bit more than, Rory's a typical one, just comes on board. She's had that whole girl who waited sort of persona, so she stands out a little bit more.
I like the idea. Well, I liked that there were a couple. There wasn't any. Well, there was a bit, but there was no sort of sexual tension between the Doctor and Amy. And I like the idea.
Well, there was at
there's
first.
at first, but there's a couple. Rory and Amy were together, and that was it. I like that dynamic.
If we're talking about their entire time, sort of thing in the TARDIS, the whole River Song's their daughter, just terrible in my opinion.
Why is it terrible?
Because
she
it's
looks
so
nothing like him.
bleeding obvious. It was like, come on.
She's ginger. He's quite fair. She looks Spanish. You
She
do not
does.
get those genes from a fucking
Curly
ginger
hair
woman.
as well.
Yeah, but apparently her genes are half Time Lord.
Where'd that?
Because she was conceived in the TARDIS. The most weakest explanation I could possibly think
So
of.
all the Time Lords are born in TARDIS.
It's so stupid.
Was Amy better than Rose? Was Amy better than Martha?
Yes, better than
Martha.
Martha.
I so prefer to Rose.
Really?
Because Rose had that whole, she was like the only woman in the world, in the universe, it implies, that the Doctor falls in love with kind of angle. She was made out to be really special. Like, she saved him, and she gets her own version of the Doctor to live with and grow old with. It's like, no. Why is she so bleeding special? I didn't like that.
Right.
Martha, I like the fact that Martha was supposed to be more intelligent, but intelligent on Russell T Davies's terms.
Yeah.
Like pointing out that air should have been sucked out when they're on the moon apparently made her a genius. I'd say you're an idiot if you don't think of that. Not a smart person for thinking of that. She didn't annoy me as much. She was a lot more
Normal, yeah.
neutral.
What about
kind of
Donna
thing.
Noble?
Really pissed me off.
I need.
Because I just really don't like Catherine Tate.
Amy's been the best one?
Well,
'Cause I think-
sort of by default, I suppose. She has pissed me off as well. Maybe because Martha was only there for one series, she didn't get time to piss me off. But I think it's the pouting. Amy's pouting. She does a lot. That's really... And the accent kind of went... I don't know.
I thought she was a good assistant, but I grew to not like her. I grew to like Rory more, and I grew to like Amy less.
I suppose, yeah.
I think that sort of sums it up. And it's good that she's gone, or else the next series I would be like, I'll get rid of her.
Yeah, she would have outstayed her welcome.
But the new one does look good.
I think so. If
Yeah.
I'm going purely on...
And that brings us on to the Christmas.
Can you call it a trailer?
Yeah, it's just three. It was 3 shots, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of the Doctor, one of what's his name?
Richard E. Grant.
Yeah, and one of the new assistant.
And Louis Coleman.
But what is it?
Don't know.
Do you want to give any spoilers or?
I don't really know much about. Well, I think that there are some sort of killer snowmen in it.
Oh god.
The Sontaran and
yeah,
the Silurian woman from Good Man Goes to War are in it again.
In summary of the whole series, what do you think?
The whole 2 series.
This 5 episodes have been.
It was good, but it could have been a lot better.
Had its highs, had its lows. Had quite a few lows.
What was the highest? What was the highest?
Being surprised by the new companion in Asylum of the Daleks.
And what was the low?
Dinosaurs. And I did like seeing the old Daleks. What little you could see of them
Yeah.
in the Asylum.
I'm gonna say the high was indeed the new companion twist with she's the Dalek, and the low was the Cube episode. Right at the end, the ending took 3 seconds, and it ended ridiculously short. But other than that, it was a good sort of half series.
Hopefully, the next half.
Yeah, the next half will be,
and I sort of
will be good.
Feel it will be mainly because of the new companion.
But yeah, that's the end of our review of the Doctor Who. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on @thematchbox, or send us an email at matchbox@live.com. But yeah, from me, Alid, and Chris, we'll see you later.